Hello, beautiful souls. I am really excited to share this one with you today because this is something that I have dealt with this year and it was really hard. And if you haven't already seen the title, I am going to be talking about my journey with depression and how I kind of navigated that. It was such a hard time in my life, probably one of the hardest times and things that I've ever gone through. And yeah, I just really want to share how I kind of came out the other side of it naturally and pulling myself out and becoming aware to what was kind of the thing that was pulling me into a depressive state. Just want to say that I give so much love to you and anyone else that is kind of feeling like they are in a state of depression right now or kind of struggling through anything mentally or anything really in life. Like, I give you so much love and you can get out of it. Trust me. It doesn't feel like it at the time, and it feels like you will never be able to feel happy again. It really doesn't. But just know that you can get out the other side of it, and I'm sharing my point of view and how I kind of got out of it. So, if any of this resonates with you, feel free to kind of take any tips that I want to share today. So, I first off want to start with like kind of how my mindset was before I kind of got into a depressive state. What kind of led up to me feeling that way and kind of going actually into the depressive state. So, as you might already know, I own a spiritual business, a healing business, and it is like my love, my passion. It is, I just love it so much. Everything about it kind of lights me up and makes me feel like myself. And at the start of the year, I put so much pressure on myself to achieve, to succeed, to just kind of put myself on the back burner and really put my business on the front burner, basically. I kept that on for a few months. During that time, during those months, I would really compare myself to other businesses, ones that are succeeding, and I would even compare myself to businesses that aren't even spiritual. I was just comparing myself to anyone, anything. Kind of nitpicking and being like, what's wrong with me? How can I fix myself? And I just really want to say that with the healing side of spirituality, it can actually become quite obsessive. You kind of lose the meaning to what it is to become spiritual and whole. You really start to, I'm speaking on myself, by the way. I really started to step into this obsessive point that I was trying to find just anything that was wrong with me because I wanted to fix myself. I thought that there was something wrong with me, and I thought that I needed to be fixed to be able to achieve. And I really felt that in my core. So I spent so much money on things that I thought would help me externally, and they never did, you know? And I feel like that was such a valuable lesson for myself, is that sometimes things externally to you can't actually help you. It's you that needs to help yourself. But I'm jumping way ahead here. So I was just kind of in this mindset that was trying to fix myself. I was trying to kind of fill this hole that I was feeling inside. In terms of the spiritual side of things, there's so much out there these days that it can actually be quite overwhelming. You can listen to so many podcasts that tell you how to manifest, all of this sort of things. That's what I was doing. I was listening to so many podcasts. I was consuming so much information to try and better myself, to try and fix this hole, to try and fix myself. Really was just putting all of my power into something externally to me because I thought the problem was externally and that something externally needed to change in order for me to feel better. I did everything and anything to feel better. I basically declulled my whole house, took away bad habits, which is good, with amazing things. I even quit my job. I changed jobs, all of this sort of stuff. I really tried everything. And at the end of the day, I did not feel better. It got to the point where I actually needed to go to the doctor and go on antidepressants to help myself feel better. I just didn't feel nothing was helping me. And I kind of went to the last resort, and I never wanted to go on antidepressants. And that is what I needed at the time to feel better. I needed help. And it was 2 weeks into taking them, and that is when I quit my job because I needed to get out of that toxic culture and change things up. And I actually thought that was the issue. I thought it was my job. And so I changed jobs, I quit, and then I went back to the doctors and I said, I don't think I need to be on antidepressants anymore. I got rid of the problem. I think I'm going to be okay now, and I don't want to stay on antidepressants. I didn't want to be on them to begin with. The doctor agreed. He said that's fine, and I was off antidepressants. So I think I was on them for about 2 weeks, to be honest. After about, I think like a month or so, I felt really good in my new job. I felt great. I was like, yay, I'm finally getting myself back, and I'm finally feeling like amazing again. And probably about a month into my new job, I started to feel those feelings again. Really just worthless, powerless, like not in control, like really just even unworthy. Just so many things were coming up. And I was so overwhelmed by so many emotions that were coming to me because I thought that the issue was something externally and I got rid of it. However, the things and feelings were still here even though I got rid of the external thing. So that's when it kind of hit me that the problem isn't something externally to me. The problem was actually myself. It's not like I wasn't a problem. It's just the fact that all of these emotions and feelings weren't happening because of something outside of me. It's because something inside of me needed to be addressed. So once I kind of figured that out for myself, I things kind of started to change drastically with my mindset. I became really aware of my thoughts and feelings and everything that was going on around me. I was becoming so aware of things I was thinking and feeling, and I started observing them. I started not attaching any meaning to anything that was coming up in my mind. I've also learnt now in hindsight, when we do experience those depressive thoughts, those dark thoughts, or those anything that's doesn't feel like it's true to your soul, those like more denser energies in your mind, really separate to you. They are so separate to you. The way I like to think of it as they are like these dark energy balls that are outside of you and they're attached to your mind. And the more that you feed into those thoughts, the more that you feed them and the more they grow. And that's what they want you to do. Really, what I did was once I made myself aware of that, I stopped feeding those thoughts. I stopped feeding those energies. And it was hard at first, I will say, because it really became a habit for me to feed into them. But I really cut off those energies and that helped me so much. And even thinking that they're separate to me also helped me so much. During that really dark, depressive time as well, every single morning I would wake up, and the first thing that I would think about when I woke up was everything that was going wrong in my life, everything that wasn't right with me, everything that needed to be fixed. And I really was just starting the day on such a horrible energy and horrible note. It kind of became this subconscious thing that I couldn't even control in the morning because it was the first thing that I thought of when I woke up. The way that that kind of helped shift was through the little things every single day. It was pulling my mindset up, becoming an observer, and really detaching myself from any negative things that I was thinking or feeling because they weren't true at all. They literally were not true at all, and they had no power and meaning over me. So when I started to change how I was thinking, every single morning, that kind of noise dulled down. I didn't really have to do too much, but that noise started to dull down bit by bit, morning by morning, and until one morning I woke up and I literally felt clear. I felt free. It's like that feeling when you're on holidays and you wake up and there's nothing to do, there's no pressure on you, and you just feel really clear. And that was the feeling that I had. And I knew that I was starting to make a shift in my life again. One thing that really helped me as well with healing my depression and jumping out of that really dark hole was to kind of jump out of the spiritual community a little bit. The stuff that's out there, it's kind of overcomplicating spirituality in a way. And I fell into that like it's not a trap. I fell into that energy as well of kind of overcomplicating everything and thinking that there's a step by step process to achieve something when there's not. You know, everything happens in divine timing, and all you need to do to feel good and whole is to follow what excites you and makes you happy. And that's something that it was actually a really tough lesson for me to learn, was to not kind of get sucked into these spiritual things. In that lesson that I learned, I also learned to not give my power away to external things from me, because no one or no thing externally to you is the same as you. You know, no one knows you as well as you do. So I've really, really clung on to my intuition. I really started grounding myself and coming back to my center. And that was like, I think that's the best advice that I can give, is to stop giving your worth and all of your energy to something externally to you. You hold all the answers within, and you hold all the power within. You know, it's really good to get advice from people and guidance and all of that sort of stuff, but never hold your value or your worth into something externally to you, because you will learn that lesson. And in saying this, in hindsight, you know, I seem really great now, but you know, I'm not perfect. I still to this day have those feelings and those thoughts and emotions where they do get me down someday, and sometimes I do feed into them. You know, it is a learning curve and it is a habit, and you know, it's just about breaking the habit of, you know, feeding into those negative energies. Something that's really helped me with that was, of course, leaning on my spirituality, but kind of taking away the ego side of spirituality and kind of coming back to myself, which was my intuition, and really just knowing that it is so simple. We as humans love to complicate everything. We love to really just make things so hard for ourselves. And I don't know why we do it. I really don't know why we do it. When we really come back to our center and ourselves and really calm our mind, then it's like, oh, that's right. It is so easy. Life is just so simple. So when I came back to that notion and kind of really drilled into that of myself, I started to experience this huge shift in my not only like my mindset, but my energy and my physical appearance. Like everything kind of just started to shift. Just knowing that everything is so simple and we don't need to overcomplicate everything. You know, we don't need much in life to be happy. We just need to find happiness within. And that can look really different for many people. But for myself, finding happiness within was really just quieting my mind, remembering who I was, calling back my power, and really just releasing the external value that I held on people and things and places. I know this is a really long video, but there's just so much to share on this, and I don't even think that I covered half of what I wanted to talk about, and share with you all. But that's kind of the gist of kind of what I went through and how I healed it and my journey, I guess. So if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments and I'll try to get to them. But thank you so much for listening. And just know that if you are in that depressive state, in that dark hole, that trust me, you will get out of it. Sometimes it just takes time and just trusting in whatever season of life that you're in. You know, in those times, there is a lesson that can be learnt. And for myself, it was many lessons that were learnt. I'm sending you all so much love, and yeah, thank you for listening and listening to my journey. I love you all.